It's not. First of all, it's nice to be back home, play a home game. It seems like forever since we've had a home game, but we got another good offense coming in Detroit. They're playing at a very high level, so we're gonna have to play really good to beat these guys. And like I said, they're running the ball good. Stafford's playing at a high level, and the receivers are explosive. Any questions?
Brought back Marshall. What are your impressions of him so far this week?
Yeah, he looks good. I mean, he was close at the training camp for us to, he was in the discussion to keep him around here. So we had the injury at linebacker with Justin. He was an obvious choice. Both he and Will Compton are really been impressive out here on the practice field. They've been picking up the defense. 2 veteran guys. So it's good to have some guys that have played have some skins on the wall, understand what the stuff's about. So we're glad to have them both.
Would you use Marshall in the middle or interior?
Yeah, we'll work in different combinations because obviously we don't have the numbers at linebackers, let's say. So those guys are really, it's the next best guy who's going to play. So there's going to be a combination of a little bit of everything in there.
What area of his game has Mullen made the most progress from week 1 in regard to Sanders to this past week?
I just think his confidence in the system, the techniques that we teach him. I think that he became a starting player last week. You saw him come out of his shell a little bit. He was a lot more vocal. Communication with the safeties and the linebackers has been really good. So he's a good young prospect. I'm looking forward to work with him a lot.
Was he just dehydrated? Coach mentioned he had
Yeah, I think he got a little bit excited his first game. You get worked up before your first game, so he had to get an IV. And he came back and he played 58 snaps, and he did a pretty good job for the most part.
Is that linebacker room a little bit different because of how many guys you have coming in and out? Maybe there's more teaching going on than there would be in week 9, or
sure. I mean, you got guys. Well, Brandon knew the system. I think it's a little bit different in the regards that we have a couple more veteran players in there that played and understand concepts of coverage and those type of things, rather than younger guys that haven't really been through that. So that's good. And both Brandon and Will have picked up the defense really good. Obviously, Brandon's seen it all spring in training camp, but Will's done a really good job he's a smart guy. Both of them are smart guys.
How in tune then is Brandon with the defense still? I mean, it's been a couple months now, but is he still? Is it like
as soon as you start looking at it, the nice thing is like when you're in training camp, you're putting in the defense install after install, and you're just building it, and you have a laundry list of calls in there. Whereas in a game plan, it's kind of a tailored list. So it's a lot easier once he sees the tailored list to study that stuff.
What goes into being a defense that can put up a stop or get a turnover after the other team scores? Like you guys, with Indy and Chicago, you guys were doing that, and,
yep.
and you won because of it.
Yep.
And the last couple of weeks, there's been like every time you score, you give up. You've been giving up a score.
We just got to play better, really. At the end of the day, I don't think it's it doesn't matter whether the offense goes 3 and out and punts, or they score a touchdown. For us, it's all about getting the field, keeping a good field position, trying to get turnovers, and obviously not letting the team score. And if the team gets into the red zone, we got to hold them to 3 points. So that's the stuff that that's our charge each and every week, regardless of what the offense does. There's going to be some times where the offense scores a lot of points, and there's going to be some times where they're going to struggle with the points. So it's really it's my job to understand how the game's going in that direction, but it's the players' jobs to stop the offense.
There's no sense stressing that, right? Since you're trying to stop them every series.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's our job every series. So that's kind of what we try to do every series, regardless of what the offense is doing.
You guys have faced 4 of the 5 top-rated passers in the
Yeah.
league currently. Is there anything to be gleaned about your defense from those games facing those guys, or are they all so different that?
They're kind of different in a way. The guy last week kind of did a lot of stuff with his legs. Stafford will move around and run around. Rodgers, obviously, he can throw off different platforms. So, Mahomes is a different animal too. So it's really each week and what the systems are, really, and what they do within the systems. But they're all good players, and you're going to face one of these guys every week for the most part. So you got to be ready.
You guys have been generating pressure. Like, what's been better about your pass rush, and what still needs to be improved?
I think that the one thing is we tied our sacks from last year. So how many games? 7 games, which is I just think we continue to push the pocket. There's times when you can take chances in the pass rush, and there's times where you got to be kind of disciplined in there, depending on who you're playing and what the coverage structure is behind it. So I just think that the more they understand that within each game plan, the better off we're going to be.
What about Benson? He's obviously doing a lot he's not playing a ton,
Yeah.
but he's pretty efficient.
Yeah, he is. That's the reason why we kind of brought him in here. We knew that he could rush the passer. You could see that early on in Arizona. He had a real strong start last year, and then the guy came back and he didn't play as much. So we're going to need him a lot on 3rd downs this week for sure.
Does Stafford do similar things to any of the guys that you faced already, or what sort of unique challenges?
He can throw the ball in the tight areas. That's the thing that I see a lot. Whether it be slants, balls over the middle where the windows are closed and he gets it in there, and he'll challenge the coverage. So we had an opportunity to practice against him last year in training camp. Which you stand back there behind him and you see how he kind of operates the offense. It's impressive.